Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Corinne and you have found CoryCreates. This is a channel about all things creative, including crown and cross stitch, sewing, a little bit of quilting, and a little bit of gardening. Welcome to those of you that are new here and are finding me for the first time, and welcome back to everyone else. So glad to be back with you. Today is Wednesday, May 24th, 2023, and this is Flosstube number 14. So glad to be back before you all. Hope everything's going well where you are. Spring has finally arrived completely here in St. Louis. It's mid-80s this week, but we know we're not in the clear yet. We kind of go back and forth for a couple more weeks. Let me start by saying Happy Mother's Day to those of you who celebrate Mother's Day, who are a mother or a mother figure. I hope you all enjoyed your day, and I enjoyed mine. It was very nice. Just went to dinner, that was it, and just hung out with the family. Tomorrow is the last day of school, and I am so glad. Second semester was a little rough for me. First semester was okay, but second semester was a little rough and long. So I'm so glad that the semester is almost over. My children are glad that it's almost over. So we just have a half day tomorrow, and then I think I have one meeting on Friday morning, and that's it. So looking forward to reclaiming my time and being able to stitch a lot more. So what do I have for you all today? I have my version of Maynia, what I did. I kind of did things a little different, so I'll share that in just a minute. And this month is my 1-year Flosstube anniversary. So I will have a small giveaway at the end. What else? 2 new starts. And I have a preview or highlights of the Color and Cotton shop opening here in St. Louis. I did go to the grand opening last weekend, so I do have some pictures that I will share at the end and kind of show you my small purchases that I made and tell you a little bit more about the shop. So I've got a lot to share, so let's jump right in. I'm going to start with my new starts. And like I said, I have 2. And the first one is Faire. Okay, I am doing, or participating, I should say, in the honeyfairesal Stitchalong. Okay, Helen D. The hashtag for that, I'll just put them both down here at the bottom, but this is what I'm working on. I am doing it on a 32 count ivory Lugana, and I started it on May 1st, and this is how far I got. Not bad. It's going pretty quickly. I have not worked on it every day, so as you can see, I'm almost halfway with the hive. I know Helen is done with hers. She's already shown it on her channel. But here's mine. I'm using most of the called for over dyes, which is a combination of Weeks Dye Works and General Arts. And I believe it also has a couple of Classic Colorworks. But this is the Faire. And a lot of people that I have seen that are working on it, or a few people are talking about the hive. I don't know if you can see it, but lots of color changes, and you all know I am not scared of color changes, so I am enjoying it very, very much. So that is my first new start. I have one more. Oh, let me show you the colors for that before I move on to the next one. I'm using again, combination of weeks and general arts and a few DMC. There were some that I did not have the overdyes, did not buy the overdyes, and so I just went with the DMC. I'm working on it in my new small Nerge, and it is, I'm gonna move this because I got the chart sitting here. I have my working copy of the chart in here. Let me move that out of the way. But this is a new project bag I made. My two favorite princesses, top two, Mulan and Tiana. And so I have some project bags that I made featuring those princesses. Actually, I have a couple of them. One of them is all the princesses, but I have one of each. One for Mulan and one for Tiana, which I like very much. So, and speaking of project bags, I will have new ones up in my Etsy shop on June 1st. I've got quite a few of them. I only did a few in May, but I've got a lot more up June 1st. So if you're interested in that, you can go to that, and I will link my Etsy shop down below, right? This next project is Rosina Desiree. I finally got around to working on it and starting it. And I started this on Mother's Day, so it's a very small start. I have not had a chance to work on it since, but I have already decided that this is going to be my focus for June in honor of Juneteenth, because my original plan was to start it during Black History Month, but February completely got away from me. So I have started it. I am working on this on a 32 count Wexford by Silk Weaver, and the color is Lovely Lavender. And I decided to do a middle start, and I started with the lettering, which is in the middle. I love the fabric so far. I'm actually working this 2/1 for the letters, and the rest of it will be 2/2. But it is going well. I'll try and get a little closer since that's all I've got. But I'm concentrating very hard on my lettering because the way the chart is written, it's like it has the squares, and then because it's only over 1 for the lettering, it's only taking up part of the square. So it's a little harder to do for me, but I'm making it work, and I was kind of surprised I never got off when I was counting. And this Wexford, I did get this at Needlework Galleria, but it's supposed to be similar to an even weave, and I would agree with that. I like it a lot. I have another piece in like a blue color, but I would definitely use this again. So I'm very pleased with this purchase. EJ from the Sunshine Stitchers helped me pick it out, and she's the one that told me it was similar to even weave, so I like it a lot. So that is Rosina Desiree, and like I said, I will make this my focus in June because I'm out of school and I have a lot more time to stitch. So that is what I will be doing. So I'm right, let's see, I'm right here. Like I said, I did a middle start, so I'm right there. And I am doing this on Pattern Keeper. This is the first non-Heaven and Earth design that I've actually uploaded into my Pattern Keeper. And it took a minute for it to recognize it, but once it got going, it's in there now and it's going good. And I am at 1% just with that little bit. So this one's gonna move a lot faster. Now, I do have some colors that I need to change. I don't think this blue, it's like a light blue, 927 I believe is the color. That's not gonna work on this purple. So I am working on trying to figure out how I'm going to convert this. It is all DMC. I may choose an overdyed, but something that's going to show up much better than that blue would on this purple. So again, that is Rosina Desiree. And those are my 2 new starts. Up next, I will share with you my Maynia work that I've been doing. I'm just going to go through all of my projects that I've been working on. The first 2 were not part of my Maynia rotation that I came up with. And then everything else, I worked on it because it was the month of May. for the sake of time, I'm not going to say here's the picture. I'm just going to kind of insert it, the picture of where it was the last time I showed it in a video. But what I decided to do for Maynia was simply to touch all of the whips that I either started or worked on during New Year's Eve 12 by 12. So I have 11 of those projects left. And because I finished Hometown Holiday, which was also a start that day, but everything else I'm still working on. So I decided to go back and revisit all of those projects because some of them I had not touched since New Year's Eve. So these first two though are just my work stitches. And since work is coming to an end, I'm just gonna kind of make them a morning stitch. Just do a few stitches on them each morning so I can get them done. And I have them both on the same board so you can see them at the same time. I do not have a sheet, but like I said, I'll put the pictures up. But the first one is Joy by Luminous Fiber Arts. And that one is over here. I've made quite a bit of progress on this one. What I'm using, I picked this especially for this, is Envy by Weeks Dye Works. And I wanted a variegated floss, something with some color change, and I actually see quite a bit of it right in there where the color is changing. But I wanted something green. I think her original one that she did a sample of on the pattern, it was done in red, but I decided to go with green, and I'm pretty pleased with it. I still just have the O and the Y to do, and then I think there's some more leaves further down here. So that is Joy. And then the second one I worked on is the Strawberry Saltbox by Punkin. And I just added a little bit on the house, okay, on the roof, the second part of the house, right here. And just finished up the front. I think most of the front was probably done already, but that's what I did. I like color changes, you all, and this doesn't have very many. So it has big blocks of color, and I don't prefer that. I know some people like it because they can outline it and then fill it in. That's boring to me. So I'm pressing my way through. Needle Free for All is the page that you can get these on easily. If you, she posts all of Pinker Punkin's designs, and this particular one is part of a stitch along that I'm doing with Sandra, who is the admin of that page. It's her page. So Sandra, I haven't forgot about you. This is where I am. So I'm hoping I can press forward and make this happen and finish. But I still have all of the strawberry vines and everything around it still to do. I'm just trying to get this house over with. Because like I said, I like color changes, and I'm not getting a lot of that here. But I am going to finish it and probably do a pillow or a stand-up. I'm not sure. A pillow or like maybe on a block or something. I haven't decided yet. But I have other ones by her that I want to do, so I'm going to hurry up and make this one happen. All right, so all of the rest of these are from my New Year's Eve 12 by 12. And the first one I want to start with is Sweater Weather. Now, I originally, last time I showed this, I originally said, I'm putting it to the side. I'm not going to work on it till fall. Well, it was in my 12 by 12. So I took it out yesterday and did a little bit on it. Here are the flosses. And I am doing this, and it's housed in this bag since it had snowflakes on it like the pattern. So I am doing this on a 28 count mushroom Lugana, and a little bit more progress. Like I said, I only worked on it one day, but I finished two more. Yep, these two over here. Two more snowflakes, and then I came down here and just started on the words Sweater Weather. So it's going well. Again, not a lot of color changes, so I tend to have to kind of push myself on these because they're not as exciting for me to work on. But I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to making it into a pillow. And I think this was a start for 12 by 12. So I got that one. The next one that I worked on, and this one I just picked up for the first time since then last night, and that is Delicate Beauties by Paula Vaughn. And I am doing this on a 28 count white Jobelin. Jobelin is not as easy to find now, and I enjoy working on it very much. I have it still in the medium nerds that I'm doing it on, but this is how far I am. I just didn't even bother to take it out of the hoop because I'm not very far. When you say the other ones that I've been working on kind of bore me because there's not a lot of color changes, this is the exact opposite. There are 56 colors in this pattern, and it's on paper. So I'm still gonna try and play around with Markup XP. I still haven't figured it out. So I'm gonna play around with it and see if I can get this on there. I think that would help me, because one thing I do like about Paula Vaughn's is their color patterns, but that makes it hard to mark off with a highlighter. So I'm going to play around with it now that I have more time. I'm gonna play around with Markup XP and see if I can transfer this paper pattern to that document. I cut my teeth on Paula Vaughn, but I'm struggling a little bit with this. The color changes are constant. And then with this being on a 28 count Lugana, I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. I've already had to frog a couple of times. So I gotta get back into how to do these, especially since it's not on Pattern Keeper. Pattern Keeper has been a game changer for me, and I've got to figure out how to work Markup XP, because if I can get some of these paper patterns on there, I think some things would go a lot more smoothly for me. So that is Delicate Beauties, and I am going to put her in one of my other princess bags. Here's one that I did. This one has almost all the princesses on it, but you see there's Mulan, Ariel, Tiana's down here, Cinderella, so that's why I picked this one. I love that. And on the inside, well, right here, I have a princess charm. It says princess on it. Sorry for the zip. And then I had some other Tiana fabric that I've had for quite some time. Love Princess Tiana. My daughter loves Princess Tiana. When she turned 5, she had a Princess Tiana birthday party, and I made her a Princess Tiana birthday cake. So Tiana is a favorite around here. I'm either going to put Delicate Beauties in this one, or here's an actual Tiana bag. Again, another charm, but this one, because she is the princess and the frog, this one is a frog. And I think on the inside, another Tiana type print. So Delicate Beauties will go into one of those. Next is another one that I started on 12 by 12, and this is my first Cricut collection, and it is Sugar Cookies. And I am doing this on a 28 count, and I'm sorry, it came from the Inspired Needle, I believe, but I don't know the name of it. I can't read the writing on the tag, but a little bit of progress. I think I worked on this 2 days, and I'm in the middle where the K is. Right there in the middle with the K. And I think I'm gonna go back this way because I want to tackle the Christmas tree. So I'm gonna go back to one of the previous O's so I can do the Christmas tree. But I like how this looks on camera. When I saw the actual one on the front of the chart, as I was working on this, it seemed like it was hard to see that plaid print. But now that it's on camera, I see it really well. So again, this is Sugar Cookies, and this is a 28 count Lugana. If I find out the color though, I'll let you all know. But it is a dyed You'll see some really light modeling here, and if you turn it on the other side, it has some green. But I've got plenty of this left, so I'm going to make something else out of that. But I'm really enjoying that. And you all, that's the dilemma that I'm having. Everything that I work on, I like. So I think that's why it was always a benefit to be a monogamous stitcher, because I would keep going on things and finish them. And so having a few more projects, I'm trying to figure out how to navigate that still. The next one is Welcome. And I believe the designer is 13th Colony. Had this in my stash for a good almost 20 years. And I'm finally working on it. Is it any less tedious? Nope. I'm still a little bit on the struggle bus with it, but slow and steady is going to win this race. So here's where I am. Pineapple is starting to take shape. I have made a mistake somewhere over here. I can't find it. I'm not looking for it anymore. I'm just going to proceed down, put our name down here in that spot. The pineapple is full of beads, so I'm going to leave the spaces for the beads, probably do the rest of the scroll work that's all around. And then when I get back over here, hopefully I'll find it. But I'm done stressing with this one. I love the pattern, love the chart, how it's turning out, but this fabric, But I'm going to keep going because, like I said, I want to get it done, and I'm looking for an end of the year finish on this. Okay. I'll tell you real quick what my plans are for the others. For Delicate Beauties, just some progress. For Rosina Desiree, progress, would like to finish it by next, maybe Black History Month. So I'm just got a goal for each of them as I go. But this one, I would love to have it finished by the end of the year, but we'll see, because this one not gonna stress me out. So I'm just trying to do the best I can and enjoy it as I go. But again, I like how it's turning out, the look of it. Up next is one of my faves, and that's Chestnut. By Teresa Wenztler. Love my progress again. I finished most of this greenery in here and some of the ribbon. So now all that's left is Chestnut's head, the rocking horse, or the rocker down here at the bottom, and the back stitch. So super pleased with my progress on this one. I still love working on this. Catherine, the Needleberry Stitcher, was asking me about these. And if you're watching this, Catherine, there are 6 of them. I have 4 of them, but there are 6. And I have done 3 of them. This will be my 3rd, and I have 1 more to do, which is Misty. And I will start that one when I'm finished with this one. But I've done Trotter and I've done Sweetheart. I just need to do the back stitch on Sweetheart. But I believe there is a Dancer, and I don't remember the name of the last one. If I remember, I'll put it down here at the bottom. But I have all of them, and those 4 rather, and I'm super excited about this. This is a 28 count antique white even weave from Hobby Lobby, and I really love this fabric, you all. I'm hoping I can use it again on another project. I really like this fabric, and I was kind of surprised. Not stiff at all. Very nice. So that is Chestnut, and I am shooting for a Christmas finish for this one. I'm going to put it on a pillow, so I would like to get this finished by Christmas. Okay. The next one that I want to share is another oldie. This is from October 2004, just cross stitch, and it's Annie's Market. This was another one that I said I wasn't going to pick up, but I just can't seem to keep my hands off of it. I enjoy working on this so much. And again, there's a house. So where I am on this one, and I'm doing this on a 32 count piece of, let me look over my notes and see if I wrote it down. 32 count Rogue Lugana in Moonstone. I just did a little bit. I know I added the chimney here, and then I came over here and I've been working in this area. So I'm going on to the main part of the house now, and I'm enjoying it very much. This whole corner is finished, so now I'm going to continue to make my way this way and still come up here and jump in that tree every now and then. But this one I'm probably not going to finish because it is very dense coverage. Okay, it's a lot of stitching, but I want to pick it up again. Oh, I don't know. I have a feeling I'm going to pick it up before the fall and keep working on it. But I'm enjoying it a lot. And this has been in my stash like, well, 2004. That was back when I used to get that magazine subscription. So, but I enjoy working on it very much. The colors are really bright and vibrant on that blue, and I'm enjoying working on that. Up next is another chart that I have not worked on since New Year's Eve, and it was a start that day, and that is Bengal Tiger. I'm definitely going to insert a picture here because I do not have a color picture of the chart. Somebody gifted me this chart many years ago, like more than like 25 years ago. And I pulled it out recently and decided I was going to do it. And I've done one other tiger picture, which I have shown in a previous video, but I am really enjoying working on this. And I'm keeping it in my Mizzou tiger bag for now. But here is Bengal Tiger. I'm gonna try to get close so you can see, but you can kind of see the face. There's the nose. Here are the whiskers coming out here. But this is done on a 28 count wheat Lugana that I know I got from 123 Stitch. It is really coming along. I'm having to use paper again and highlight, but it's really going well. There's very little, if any, backstitch in this design, which is always appealing to me, but I'm so enjoying it. It's going quickly. This is only maybe one night of additional work, but it's going fast and I'm seeing results very quickly. So I'm gonna keep pressing with this one. This one is definitely going into my summer rotation, so I can get a good dent of progress in it. And I don't really have a finish goal for this one. Just to make some progress would be fine with me. But I have a feeling I'm gonna make quite a bit this summer because I am really enjoying working on it. And that is Bengal Tiger. And I'll put the information about it on the screen as far as the designer, if I can find it. But I have a feeling I don't have it because, like I said, somebody gifted me this chart. The next one is the Flower Peddler. This is a Mystic Stitch. They are no longer in business. The finished size on this is going to be 11 by 11 because this is a 18 count Ada that I'm working on, and this is a full coverage. So I'm still over here started working on that awning above the window. So it's coming along really well. This is page number 2, so as you can see, I'm almost to a page finish. So that's going to be my goal for next month. This one also, I think I'm going to include this kind of in my summer rotation. But again, this is Flower Peddler, and this is where I am, right in this area. So not the most exciting, but it's coming along. And I think for this year, I'm gonna shoot for maybe a row finish. but it's coming along great, and I really enjoy working on it, again, despite it being a paper chart. I like the way Mystic Stitch did their charting, so I'm going to keep pressing with this. And I'm keeping it in my strawberry project bag. And I'm using my 11 by 11 hoop. So strawberry project bag. My last whip is the one I always say for last, which is Vintage Baker. But before I show you Vintage Baker, I wanted to show you the project bag I finally finished for it. I had mentioned, I think in my last video, that I had found the perfect fabric to house this project, especially since it's gonna be a while before I finish this one. So I found, well, I already had this in my stash. This is some vintage appliances. So that's what I made my grime guard out of. But this is some fabric that I found at Joann's. And not only does it have the vintage appliances, but you all, it's got the recipe cards, just like my project. So, love this bag. I recently moved to an 11 by 17 hoop. So, I made the bag to fit that. It's actually 20 to 21 inches this way. And then here's the hoop, and it'll fit in there with no problem. So I don't, because I rarely take it out of the Q-snap. I usually only take it out when I'm doing a Flosstube or at the end of the month when I take my picture to show my progress for the month. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I post that every month, sometime towards the beginning of the month. I just kind of put it like a before and after this month versus the previous months. So that is my project bag, which I'm super excited to have with this project. So let me show you Vintage Baker. I did not bring my paper pattern out, so I'll just insert a picture of what it's supposed to look like over here. And here is my progress. We're getting there, you all. And I'm gonna have to scooch over so I can get it all in the screen. Super happy to finally be almost done with these recipe cards. Ooh, those took me to the king, y'all. But right here, you will see this is the beginnings of that wooden spoon. And up here, this is the beginnings of the tin. I believe it's a baking powder or some kind of baking soda tin near the top, but it's like a light blue. But again, I'll make sure I already put the picture of what it's supposed to look like up for you. But let me tell you my stats for this one. My April total stitches was 2,082. My May so far is 1,432, and I'm at 11.18%, which is 33,728 stitches out of 301,600. So hopefully you can still see that, but very, very pleased with it. So to have all this action over here and then to get to all this confetti, woo, like I said, you all saw, it almost took me out. So I'm glad I'm through that. I have a lot more consistent motifs coming up. But very happy with it. This is done on a 25 count Lugana, white Lugana. I think it's white, might be antique white Lugana. And it is going very well, 1/1. I'm probably, and this is also when I take it out of the Q-snap, I always try to add more gridding. So I'm gonna probably go that way with some more gridding because like I said, I only take it out maybe twice a month. I don't find that it matches my stitches or anything like that. But one thing I have come to the conclusion, I need a Lowry stand. Actually, I need more than one stand, not more than one Lowry, but I want another lap stand, and then I want a Lowry stand. I've seen a lot of people talk about them. I think I'm gonna also try and get a roller frame, because this is a lot of fabric that I have to corral every time. I cut it to size, so you can see this is going to be really big. My goal for this one is a row finish by the end of the year, and this is a page that I just finished, so I think after I finish the next page, I might be halfway. I can't remember. Like I said, I forgot to bring it in here with me to show you, but that is Vintage Baker. I gotta find some things to do to make it more comfortable for me to work on it, especially now that I'm making progress across this huge piece of fabric. So those are my whips. I touched a lot, you all, considering usually May is the month I don't get anything else done because of school. But I know you all are familiar with Candy, the 614 Stitcher. She focuses on mental health May every year, and it is very clear to me, especially now the older I get, how much I rely on my stitching to kind of center me, bring me back, come off from whatever happened during the day. I enjoy it. It does definitely relax me, and I miss it when I can't do it. So that's why, even though grading the kids, I mean, you all, every other week, every other day, it has been something else I had to do. Trent had 5th grade celebration. He's had band concert. Layla had choir concert, volleyball. We're running all of the month of May because everybody's wrapping everything up and they're having all their end of the year things. So even if it was 10 o'clock, I still pull it out and stitch for about 30 minutes on something. And this month, since I decided to touch everything from 12 by 12, that's what I did. I grabbed one by one. The only 2 things I have not touched yet this month are Spirit Dancer and one more. Oh, Gingerbread Cookies by Stitching with the Housewives. I might do that tomorrow night because that's Christmas, so the 25th. I try to touch a Christmas on the 25th. And then Spirit Dancer, I have another week to get that one in and have touched all 11 of them that I had left from 12 by 12. So I'm excited. I met that goal, and I have plans for the summer to touch a lot of these again and hopefully come up with some finishes. I'm going to talk a little bit about my investments. Then I will talk a little bit about Color and Cotton grand opening. And then I will mention or show the items that I purchased from Color and Cotton at the grand opening. So let's start with just my in general investments. I purchased 2 charts from Etsy. The first one is HAED Rules. Very familiar. I did order the PDF. They were having a sale at the time, so I was kind of excited that I was able to get this on sale. I don't know when I'm going to start it, but I am looking forward to it. I have a lot of the colors. Well, I have all of the colors because you all know I have a master set of DMC, but I think I'm going to convert some of these to overdyes. I have some honey colored overdyes, and then the green that's in here, I think I'm going to change that as well. So that's on the docket. I have to get a piece of fabric big enough for it. I'm leaning towards 25 count 1/1 for this, or 2/1, just depending on how much coverage I want it to have. But that's what I'm leaning towards, doing it on 25 count over 1. So that is HAED Rules by Primrose Cottage. Like I said, very popular pattern. Came out last year, I believe, at the Nashville market. But y'all know I rarely rush and buy something immediately. And now I know I really want to do it, so I waited to purchase it. So that was my first one. The second one is from a fellow Flosstuber. This is a Study in Pink by the Artsy Housewife. Yes, Artsy Housewife. She has a floss tube. I believe she is down in Texas. But I am looking forward to doing this one. Okay, and I believe this is going to be part of a series. She's going to do a number of these butterflies, but I just love that each quadrant of the butterfly is different. It's not, you know, mirror image like it usually is on each side, but each quadrant is different. And the fact that it was pinks caught my eye, so I finally got it. It also was a sale purchase on Etsy. But she also has a website, theartsyhousewife.com. Why are my hands shaking so bad today? And then also check her out on Flosstube. She has very nice Flosstube. I also got my Bestitch Me fabric of the month. I get the 32 count Lugana. And this one is probably my favorite one so far. This is Gorgeous Grape. 32 count Lugana again. But I just think just the color by itself is beautiful. And Gorgeous Grape was an apt fitting name. But the modeling is very nice. Okay, I think I like this side a little better. See, it's got more distinctive modeling on this side, and that amazes me how the two sides can be different. It's very different. So I'll decide when I'm ready to use it. I don't know what I'm going to use it on, but it's screaming fancy lady to me. I just don't know if I have anything that I want to do on that color or will work on that color. So again, that's my Bestitch Me fabric of the month. I'm in the color and neutral club. So every other month I get a color, and then every other month I get a neutral. So I've been in it since last November, I think. Okay, and I'm pretty sure I'll stick with it for a little while longer at least. But I have liked all of the fabrics that I have gotten from that one. So that is my fabric of the month from Bestitch Me. So everything else I got to show you is from Color and Cotton. So I'm going to put some pictures up as I'm talking throughout when I'm talking, but Color and Cotton, which is a very popular fabric dyer and floss dyer that many of you are familiar with. They are located in the St. Louis area, and they have opened a brick and mortar store like literally 5 minutes from where I live, which is going to be dangerous. But here, let me show you their business card. And then here's the other side with their contact information. But they had their grand opening this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. And Catherine from the Needleberry Stitcher, who is also a Flosstuber, she also lives in the St. Louis area, and we messaged each other and she said, hey, you want to go? And I'm like, sure. And she got there a little bit before opening time, which was 10 a.m. on Saturday. I believe it was the 20th. I got there around 10:30. It was busy the entire time I was there. Plenty of parking. It is on a main drag, Manchester Road, which if you have ever been down Manchester Road in the St. Louis area, it goes from one end of the county all the way down to the city. It's the old Route 66. So it's a very popular strip of road and very, very crowded on a Saturday. It took me longer to get to the shop than it should have because, like I said, I only live 5 minutes away. But when I got there, it was a lot of people there, but it was still plenty of parking. Just a nice shop. And like I said, I'm showing pictures. I only took a few, but I wanted to show some of what I saw there. Catherine and I hung out there for a couple of hours. Decided we are probably going to hang out there together quite often. Next time we do it, we're going to throw in some lunch. Probably go to the shop first, then go to lunch. But it was just a good time. Let me show you some of the things that I did get. They have all of the flosses that you can think of, but the majority of their floss wall, which hopefully I have the picture of that, is Color and Cotton flosses. And I do not own any of those, and I purposely did not buy any because I wanted to wait until I could see them. Love their flosses. I mean, they're just beautiful and vibrant. I know Catherine bought some, which she'll probably share in her next video. She has a specific project she's working on. But I really was intrigued by the mist dies. She had all different size hanks of mist dies. And they range from, you know, the small, just a regular size pack, all the way up to, I want to say it was like 50 yards. I think those 50-yard ones were about $70. And then the 25 yards ones were $35. And then they had smaller packs, but they had a lot of them. And I'd be interested to know what construes a mist dye. I guess if it doesn't match the color they were going for, they just chuck it and consider it a mist dye. But I have been wanting to start Pandemic. And at first I was going to buy some silks to do Pandemic in. But then when I saw some of these mist dyes, I said, you know what, maybe I'll just wait. And then when one of those comes available that I really, really like, I'll buy it and use it for Pandemic. So I'm going to keep my eye out for those. They had a table, like a flat table that had a deep inset in it. And they just had all of the fabric stacked up and lined up in it by color and by count and by fabric type. They also had some fabrics on the table. They had a lot of farmhouse style furniture, some armoires, some tables, all refinished beautifully. And they had fabric on all of those. They had a big, like a dresser up by the front of the shop, fabric on top of that. They had a big farmhouse kitchen table with chairs around it in the middle of the room that I'm sure people will be stitching at soon. They had another one of those tables, deep tables for patterns. But it was just a nice, quaint little shop. You can tell they have lots of room for growth still. There was a area along the wall, and then there was another area by the checkout for notions. And then they had project bags, just stacks and stacks of project bags that you could go through and purchase. So I enjoyed it. Like I said, we were there for a couple hours. At one point, the line was from the front of the store all the way to the back. But congratulations to Angela. Very beautiful store. Lots of assistants. They all had color and cotton t-shirts on, just like their logo. So it was easy to spot who was working and who could assist. But they had it so well laid out, you really didn't need a lot of assistance unless maybe you were requesting to see if they had another kind of fabric. So let me show you real quick what I got. I just got a couple of over dyes. I've been wanting this Priscilla's Peppermint, and then the Pine Needles is just for a project that I have. Like I said, they had Color and Cotton, Weeks, Gentle Arts, Classic Colorworks, and DMC. Those were all of the flosses that I saw. I grabbed Mouse's Christmas Decorating. I'm going to put this on my list for July. But this is by the Tiny Modernist. It has some overdyes, which I already checked. I believe the main red is Turkish Red, which is a Weeks. I have Louisiana Hot Sauce, and I think I'm going to sub that for that red. I also got Hometown Holiday, Grandma's House. And that's by Little House Needleworks. I'm already working on these, so I just added this to my collection. I have Big City Christmas. This is the hotel. I did not have that one yet, so I grabbed it. I think I only have 2 more in this group to get, and then I can get started on it. And then my last pattern that I purchased was Honey of a Tiny Town. And this is another one that many of you have seen. Okay, they had all of the tiny towns, but I decided to start with this one. And I am going to change the colors similar to Hive Rules. Whatever I decide on for Hive Rules, that is what I will transfer to this as well. I'll turn it that way, so you gotta get a look at it. But I know some people have already finished this. And this came out Nashville Market this year. So the last thing I purchased was a piece of fabric. For the grand opening, they only had pre-cuts. They had Aida, Linen, and Lugana, and then they had all the different counts that you can think of. I was impressed that they had 20 count Aida, which I do like to work on. It's just not something that's commonly found. So they did have some colors in there. They had everything from neutrals to very brights. So I decided on a neutral. They had fat quarter cuts and they had fat eighths cuts. So fat halves, fat quarters and fat eighths. So I ended up with a fat quarter of this special edition, kind of a grayish, bluish gray. I'll say bluish gray. And I figured that would be something I could use. I love their tags, very clear. Oops, there we go, 32 count. And it usually has the color on here, but because mine was a limited edition, that's what it says. And I have already decided, you all, I'm thinking that a study in pink will look nice on this. So we'll see. I'll play around with that a little bit more. So those were my purchases from Color and Cotton. Like I said, it's a beautiful shop. If you're in the St. Louis area, it is not far from a major highway. I would say it would take you maybe 10 minutes from Highway 270, if you're familiar with that. Not too far from Highway 40 as well. Okay, so it's kind of in the middle. So it's a good location to just pop in off the highway. It would not take you long once you got off of 270. But I have one more thing, and that is Stitchy Kindness. And it is from Catherine, the Needleberry Stitcher. And like I said, I'm pretty sure she's going to tell you about her experience at Color and Cotton as well. But she had a gift for me when we met up on Saturday, and I was very excited. You all, look at this. This is Rose of Sharon. She said she came across another copy and got it for me. I'm very excited because I have plans for this one. So I have already made a copy of the supply list on the back, and I need to find some fabric. I have Sabrina as well, and that's one she is currently working on. So now I have to decide, A, which one I'm going to start first, and then B, what fabric to use for whichever one I start first. I'm leaning towards this one because this has no beads. And I didn't realize that until I looked at the supply list. It has no beads. So I already know I'm going to do it on a 32 count. I am going to do a skin tone conversion on both of them. So I have to figure out what that's going to be. And then I'm going to do a color conversion on her dress. I'm going to change the blue to green and the yellow to pink. So that is my plan. So I have to figure out the right color for both of those that I want to use. And I may change these colors in the flowers. They're blue as well. I can't change them to green because the stems are already green. So I may change them to maybe purple or a dark pink. I don't know. I'm looking at more of a soft pink, a candy pink, something like that, not a hot pink. So maybe I'll change the flowers to a hot pink. But I'm really excited. I think I can do this conversion without a problem. I'm only going to do a skin tone conversion on Sabrina, but Sabrina has quite a few beads. So I'm going to start collecting the beads, but these two Mirabilias are the ones I'm going to start with and see how it goes. So Catherine, again, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm looking forward to us getting together again this summer to hang out and talk stitching. And that was the other thing I wanted to mention to you all about Color and Cotton. I met Michelle from High Ridge. I believe she said she was from High Ridge. Hi, Michelle. She's in the local area. She came up to me and said hello. I had a couple other ladies say, I think I know you from somewhere. So that was fun to meet some new people. And then, but it was just the vibe of the place. I saw people with project bags. I saw people, you know, standing there trying to do some conversions. They had a DMC color chart sitting there on one of the tables. They had lots of places where you could just stop and sit your stuff down and go through what you had, especially if you had your project bag with another project you're trying to get floss for. I thought that was good. Right over by the flosses, they had a table, an empty table, and it was high. It was like almost like a bar table where you could sit your stuff and kind of rifle through it and see what you had. But the vibe was special because you didn't have to explain yourself when you were in there. Everybody in there was stitching. Everybody was a stitcher. Everybody knew what was in there. Everybody was there for a reason. There was a lady that was standing next to me, and she was talking about her, we were looking at the fabric, and she was talking to me, and she kept stopping, and she kept saying, I'm so sorry, I'm talking a lot. And I'm like thinking, no. I said, no, you're fine. You know, it's contagious to be around people that know what you're talking about. They know how you feel about it. They share your sentiment about it, and they love doing it as much as you do. And for so long, at least here in the St. Louis area, we really haven't had that. I think the last time I was in a local needlework shop was back in 2013. And that was, I was getting fabric for those stockings that I did for my kids. So it's been 10 years since we've had a local needlework shop here. And we used to have many of them. So it was nice for that to be back. I kept hearing people say, I'm just so glad I can get fabric and I can get floss and I don't have to wait on it. I kept hearing people say they were so glad they can actually see it live and see what they're getting. So to all the ladies that I was talking to, I didn't mind you talking to me, because I got it. I get it. And I'm sure all of you out there get it. It's nice to have a place to gather and be with like-minded people where you don't have to explain what you're doing, where you don't have to explain why you like it, because they feel the same way. And that was just the overall vibe that I got while I was there. So if you're in St. Louis, please stop by there. I'm trying to think of somebody else there that I saw. Oh, I know who else was there. Mrs. Jones Stitches, Holly. She was there, and I just said hello to her, because she probably didn't know me from a can of paint, but I watch her videos, so I just wanted to make sure I spoke to her. But she was there, and she had her stash ready to go. But like I said, the line was long. Some people were buying a lot of stuff. I'm gonna pace myself because, like I said, it's right down the road. But it's gonna be nice to just be able to walk in and get floss, especially, and fabric that I can look at before purchasing. So that was my experience at Color and Cut. To wrap up for today, I have a couple of giveaways to celebrate my 1-year floss anniversary. But before I do that, I did forget one more investment that I made. These are charms, 2023 charms that I purchased off of Etsy. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see if I can get something behind it. Help it. So those are 2023 charms. I got a whole bag of them. I believe it was $50 in the bag. I think like $2. But I'm going to use them. They have a little hole at the top, and I already have some jump rings. I'm going to use these on my projects. Any project that I give, any project that I make and keep for myself, I'm just going to attach one of these little charms to it. I'm probably going to put some on my project bags that I'm selling at my Etsy shop. So very inexpensive, but great way to be able to identify the things that I finished this year. So that was the other thing. The last thing is my giveaway. I just wanted to thank you all for subscribing, for watching me. I am going to come to you a little more often throughout the summer since I have more time. So I just wanted to offer a couple of items up. I will do another giveaway when I get close, or when I get to 2,000. I think I'm really close. So please like, subscribe, share. Love your comments over the last year. There are some of you that message me regularly. Judith, the cross stitch librarian, I just wanted to send her a shout out. She always sends me a funny meme on Instagram. So she's a very sweet lady. So always good to hear from her. Just thank you all. I've really enjoyed coming before you. Hopefully you've seen some things that you like, and I appreciate all your feedback and comments. And I look forward to this next coming year. I am going to have some announcements soon about our new living digs. They're moving forward, so I will definitely, sometime this summer, I promise I will share what our final plans are. They'll be more solidified now that I have some time to focus on new house and all that kind of stuff. So the two items I have to give away today, one is some linen. This is a 17.5 by 24 piece of cashel, I don't know, y'all tell me if I how to say it, but linen. It is 28 count and the color is platinum, so a nice neutral. But that piece is up for grabs, and the key word I want you to use for this is linen. Linen. Okay, that's the word. Y'all don't have to get fancy and use it in a sentence. You can just put the word linen, okay? And I will do a search for that. But again, it's a 28 count piece of cashel platinum linen. And it's a 17 by 24 piece, so almost a fat quarter. So that's the first item. And then the second item is one of my project bags. This is an Ankara African print project bags, one of my favorite prints. And I just found a similar rainbow fabric for the inside. But this is my second giveaway. And you will probably see one similar to this in my Etsy shop. I like to play with this fabric. I've done it. I think the other one I have, the rectangles are going this direction. So if you're interested in this, just the word bag, okay? The word bag somewhere in your comment, and I will pull the winner in my next video, which I'm hoping will be in a couple of weeks. Because we've got Memorial Day weekend coming up here in the States. For those of you not in the States, this is our United States unofficial kickoff of summer. Or actually, it's the official kickoff of summer. The pools usually open, all that kind of stuff. Travel, so I will have lots of stitchy time this weekend. And then moving forward, I will have plenty. So I'm looking forward to sitting down and getting some more stitching done. I had some carpal tunnel issues earlier in the month. Otherwise, I know I would have probably gotten more stitching done. But I'm glad I've kind of got those temporarily resolved, because I was worried, you all. I had a little bit of pain that I'm not used to having. I overdid it, basically. I was shoveling some mulch, putting it in a wheelbarrow at a community service project I was at, and I overdid it, and I couldn't even do this a couple of weeks at the beginning of the month. So I think I'm past that, and my workouts have been helping. Also, Sarah Stitchy Spot, I believe it's her son-in-law, gave some tips on stretches and things to do. Those helped a lot too. So check her out if you haven't yet. But I know she said she was going to invite him back to give more advice for us stitchers on how to, keep our bodies together, considering we have a sedentary hobby. So it's good to keep it moving. And I think the only other thing I wanted to mention was the honeyfairesal I'm going to keep going with that for June. A lot of those projects that you saw, my Rosina Desiree is going to be a focus piece for June. Honey Faire, I hope I can finish it. I'm almost halfway. I also want to work on some of the ones that I worked on last month. Of course, 5,000 stitches now is my goal for Vintage Baker now that I'm home more. I'm going to keep working on Bengal Tiger. And I'm also going to work on, I'm going to try to touch on Delicate Beauties and Flower Peddler. Okay, those for sure are going to be in the rotation in June. And then in July, I'm focusing on Christmas. And I'll talk more about that sometime next month. So I think that's it. Have any questions? Let me know. I'm looking forward to coming back before you a little more often this summer. And thank you, my Flosstube friends. So I will see you soon. And as always, be blessed.